This is a full story. Kitten wishes you all a happy and enjoyable story. When Serena chased after her first love and left the country, I begged her to stay. She didn't even look back. A year later, I got married. Serena flew back. When she saw the ring on my finger, the proud heiress of the S family broke down. She forced a smile. "Rockey, are you going to take it off, or should I do it for you?" Her voice trembled. "If you want a ring, I'll buy you one. Throw that one away, please." My wedding wasn't big, just a small meal with a dozen friends and family. My wife cherished me. She did all the hosting, letting me relax and chat with my best friend. Peter, watching me get married, felt emotional. "I thought you'd wait for Serena your whole life." I lowered my head and smiled. "So did I." He asked, "Does Serena know you got married?" I shook my head. "No, and there's no need for her to know." He paused. "I heard Serena went crazy last night. Booked a ticket in a frenzy. Flew back overnight from the States." I said nothing. Maybe she was in such a rush, because her first love ran away again, just like before. He got angry at Serena and flew to the US. Serena booked a ticket right in front of me to chase him. I had pneumonia back then, still shivering under my quilt. I sat there trembling, watching her slender fingers tap on her phone, booking a flight for that same night without hesitation. I gritted my teeth and tried to stop her. "Serena, can you not go?" Her bright eyes looked at me. She smiled casually. "Be good and stay home. I'll bring you a gift when I get back." She lifted my chin, gave my lips a light kiss, tucked me in. "Want a watch or sneakers?" I didn't answer. Serena liked giving gifts. She gave me many things, but never a ring. She didn't give Tony many gifts, but every time, it was a ring. I took a deep breath, looked at her pale, slender face, still tried to keep her. "Can't you really stay?" Her smile faded a little. She patted my head. "You know what we are." I stood there speechless. It was me who pursued Serena. She had only one condition. We couldn't go public, especially not in front of Tony. To put it plainly, I was just a backup. I had no right to stop her, even though we were living together, even though she brought me to family gatherings. When she saw I stopped talking, she smiled and kissed my forehead. "Be good, I'll bring you a gift when I get back." I looked down. "When will you come back?" She stood up slowly and put on her dress. A few days. She probably didn't expect. Her first love wasn't just going abroad to unwind, but to study, so she stayed with him a whole year. I watched her elegant back as she left, sighed, maybe sensing my gloom. Serena turned back. "Before I go, tell me if there's anything I can do for you. I'll do everything I can." I looked at her face, thought for a second. "Can you help me find someone?" "Her name is Haley. She's a war reporter." Serena's face darkened. "What's your relationship with her?" "If you don't explain, I won't help." I pressed my lips together. "She's my sister, my aunt's daughter." Her expression softened. She nodded. "Wait for my news." She turned and walked away. I watched her disappear, took a photo from my wallet, and it was a thin woman, looking a lot like Serena. I gently stroked the photo. Serena really was forgetful. I told her before, I grew up in an orphanage. Where would I get an aunt? I also told her, there was a girl in the orphanage who relied on me. We grew up together, but she heard it and forgot. She never even wondered why I loved looking at her face so much. Just her face. Serena really loved Tony. Even though Tony kept a distance for years, never willing to commit, she still loved him willingly. And I truly loved Serena. Her face. That face that looked like Haley's. I was always grateful to Serena. She saved me. When I met her, it had already been 3 years since I lost contact with Haley. Many people said Haley was gone. I lived like a shell. No soul, no life. Until I saw Serena. A junior just 1 year younger. When I saw that face so much like Haley's, I cried. I did everything I could to get close to Serena. Treated her well unconditionally. Everyone knew I was Serena's shadow. Carrying her bag, coat, shopping for her. Relaying messages when she fought with Tony. Helping her home when she got drunk. Maybe I treated her too well. So well she couldn't ignore me anymore. So one night after she argued with Tony and got drunk, she curled into my arms. "Do you like me?" I looked at that pale face, nodded. From that day on, I became Serena's secret boyfriend, if a backup could count as one. That lasted for years. Serena and Tony didn't work out, but we ended up living together. Sometimes Serena would hold me and sigh, "Rockey, you're the best man I've ever had. You don't even care about my money." I joked, "If you want to give me some, I won't refuse, but you never spend it." Her bright eyes looked at me. "You don't spend my money. You don't push me to go public. You're not like the other men who chased after me." She said, "Sometimes I even feel like you're treating me as your backup." I playfully pinched her nose, buried into her arms laughing. Whether I was a backup didn't matter. We'd spent 6 years together. Those 6 years meant everything to me, but not to Serena. Serena still loved Tony. If he called drunk in the middle of the night, she'd get dressed immediately and go find him. Before, when Serena wanted to leave, she never explained anything. Later she started giving reasons, her face showing guilt. I thought it meant I finally meant something lying to her. But I was wrong. She still chased Tony abroad. Didn't give me even a chance to stop her. She left for a whole year. Serena had actually come back once in the middle of the year. She was drunk and asked me to pick her up. When I arrived, she was sitting in a VIP booth at the nightclub, video chatting with Tony. When she saw me, she waved me over. "Rocky, come here." She turned the camera to me. "Let me introduce you. This is my boyfriend of 6 years, Rockey." Tony still looked indifferent, but his eyes swept over me, pausing on my face for a few seconds. Then he smiled. "Serena, you've moved on." Serena smiled too. "Yes. Why should I chase after someone who keeps pushing me away when I have someone gentle and caring right here?" Tony saw her holding on to me, asked how long we'd been together. I answered honestly, 6 years. Tony ended the call, always proud. He didn't even say goodbye. Serena's arm around mine suddenly froze. That night, she was supposed to sleep beside me, but she took a call in the middle of the night. And when she came back, she held me and kissed me over and over. She didn't sleep all night, just kept staring at me. By morning, her voice was hoarse. "Rocky, this is the end for us." I hadn't slept either. I already knew. I heard the call Serena took. Tony had casually asked her to break up and promised to be with her if she did. I knew I could never compare to Tony. I nodded, not wanting it to end badly. I turned my back, let out a sigh. Serena hugged me tightly from behind, so tight I could barely breathe. She whispered in my ear, "Your aunt's daughter. There's news. She's alive. She just lost her memory. She's abroad." My entire body went rigid. I turned around. "Can you help bring her back?" Serena kissed my lips. "Yes, this is what I owe you." That same day, she flew off to be with Tony. A few days later, I met Haley at the best hospital, with the best doctors helping her recover. Soon, her memory returned. She remembered me. Haley had been injured while saving a child in a war zone. She lost her memory because of that. When she woke up, she hugged me tightly. Her gentle voice whispered in my ear, "These 10 years I've been gone. You must have suffered so much." I broke into tears. The emptiness in my heart was finally filled. Haley and I had already lost 10 years. We didn't want to lose another 10. We got engaged quickly. Haley asked me if I'd fallen for someone else in those years. She didn't want me to act on impulse and regret it later. Serena's face flashed vaguely in my mind, but it disappeared just as quickly. I shook my head and smiled. "No." I gently touched the scar on Haley's body, left from saving that child, and repeated, "No." In truth, before Haley asked, I had dreamed of Serena a few times. In those dreams, Serena sneered at me coldly, told me to stop thinking so much of myself. It still stung, but as time passed, those dreams stopped coming. Those 6 years seemed to vanish like wind. Sometimes Peter would ask me if I ever thought about Serena again. I would pause for a few seconds, then shake my head. "I hope she and Tony can be happy," I said. "It's better we forget each other." At least I really did leave her behind. But one day, while Haley and I were out for dinner, we ran into one of Serena's old classmates. From far away, she greeted me loudly. "Why didn't you call when you came back?" After a few steps, she froze in shock. Haley looked a lot like Serena, but with a scar between her brows, left by the war. Her presence was completely different, calm, steady, without Serena's spoiled, pampered air. The classmate stared at Haley, then at me with disbelief. "Rocky, is this?" She paused. "Are you cheating on Serena?" I shook my head. "We broke up?" She looked even more surprised. "Serena said you were still waiting for her." I cut her off. "This is my fiancé. We're getting married soon." She was stunned, looking at our tightly held hands. She turned around and walked away quickly, already dialing a number. I turned to explain to Haley, but before I could even speak, Haley smiled. "It's all in the past. Why bring it up?" She brushed my hair with her fingers. "I've been gone 10 years. I can't expect you to wait 10 years too." My eyes welled up. Suddenly, all my buried emotions rose to the surface. Those first 3 years of not finding Haley, I held my phone every day, waiting for a call. In the first year, I hoped someone would call to say she was just hurt, coming home soon. In the second year, I hoped someone would say she was alive. In the third year, I started to fear hearing the phone ring, but still had to answer. Serena appeared. When I was diagnosed with severe anxiety and panic disorder, her face was my final lifeline. Being her backup was never without pain, but I couldn't let go of that face. Only by looking at her could I find the strength to keep living. So did I love Serena? I don't know, but I was grateful to her. Grateful enough that, even when people laughed at me for being a backup, I accepted it willingly. Those 6 years, to me, Serena was a good person. She saved me from darkness. I thought maybe, in her heart, I held a decent place too, at least as someone kind, but I didn't expect her to grit her teeth and call me a liar. Serena called me late at night. I got up quietly, not wanting to wake Haley. I thought she wanted to take back the many things she left here, but as soon as I answered, she hissed fiercely, as if trying to bite me apart, gritting her teeth and said 2 words, "Liars." Her voice was hoarse. "Rocky, you are a liar. You said she is your aunt's child. You lied to me." She no longer acted spoiled. She held back her anger, and there was even a trace of grievance in her voice, like a child feeling wronged. I lowered my head, sighed, I'm sorry. I apologized so naturally, just like I did in the past 6 years, for many reasons. Like, don't keep staring at her in front of Tony, it makes Tony unhappy. Like, don't try to hold her hand in front of Tony's friends. Like, don't make calls when she's having dinner with Tony. Every time I would apologize, looking at that face, obediently saying sorry. At first Serena hesitated, then patted my head like a child. Just change next time. Later she smiled, propping her cheek. You're so obedient when you apologize. And then she stopped giving me so many rules. But my habit of apologizing hadn't changed. I immediately blurted out sorry. Serena paused, bit her teeth. This apology doesn't work either. Rockey, I'm really angry now. I should have just let your side chick live in the war zone forever. Why did I travel all this way to put a green hat on myself? I turned cold, but she didn't notice, still asking, have you touched her? Rockey, answer me, have you or haven't you? I cut off her anxious voice. Serena, don't talk about her like that anymore. She means a lot to me. There was silence on the other side. After a while, I heard something break. Serena gritted her teeth and slowly laughed word by word. Rockey, you never said I mean a lot to you. She said, remember, I never told you to leave, so you are still mine. I'm not yours. I frowned, correcting her. Since you went to America to find Tony, we have no relationship. Serena was silent for a moment, then softly asked, so you were taking revenge on me, right? She seemed more determined. You're with her just to spite me, right? If I gave you a chance to regret it. I frowned even more. Serena, stop it. You and Tony finally got together, just live well. Serena said nothing. Her breath was low and hurried. After a while, she hung up without saying a word. I listened to the busy signal and sighed. Serena hadn't changed. Whenever Tony was mentioned, her reason returned. Before she got drunk and called me in the middle of the night to pick her up, I wrapped a coat over my pajamas and rushed out. Picked her up drunk at the bar door. The cold weather froze my hands, but she kept refusing to go back. Her friend helplessly apologized to me, then sent a video to Tony. I'm letting Tony see what you look like. Serena suddenly straightened up, sober as if she hadn't drunk at all, opened the car door and got in by herself. Her friend and I stood outside the car, looking at each other wide-eyed. Her friend's eyes were full of awkwardness and sympathy. Sorry, I really can't help. Only Tony can make her listen. I shook my head. It's okay, I don't mind. That night, I made her a sobering soup, took care of her without sleeping, and she held me, calling out Tony all night. A voice inside me kept asking, Rockey, do you really not care? Then why are your hands and feet so cold? I sighed, forcing myself to pull away from the memories, not to think about it anymore. I looked at the bedroom. There was the woman I loved most. It didn't matter what happened before. What mattered was now. I didn't care anymore. Haley and I started planning our wedding. We went to try on wedding dresses, ignoring several calls from Serena, but the phone kept vibrating. All were Facebook messages from Serena. She never sent so many messages in a month before. Rockey, I haven't let you go yet. Rockey, you will regret this. What are you doing? Answer me. You never ignored me this long before. I was annoyed by the constant buzzing, grabbed my phone in the fitting room, and hurriedly replied, I'm trying on wedding dresses with Haley, stop messaging. The phone was silent briefly, then started vibrating crazily nonstop, as if the person on the other side went mad. I really had no choice. Answered, Serena, if you keep acting like this, we can't even be friends. She ignored it, only asked again and again, what's so good about her? Rockey, marriage and love are different things. She took a deep breath. Rockey, listen, do your parents agree to your marriage? Or wait for me to go back and talk to them? I calmly interrupted, Serena, stop it. There was silence on the other end. I said quietly, Serena, I'm really getting married. She and I grew up together. We understand each other, and we're truly compatible. Serena wanted to say something, but I interrupted again. Tony won't be happy if you keep this up. She didn't speak. Only her breathing grew uneven. I sighed. I told you before, I grew up in an orphanage. I don't have parents. Why can't you ever remember that? After I said that, I hung up. Serena never called back. Haley patiently waited outside the fitting room, never asking why I stayed so long. When I came out, she hugged me tightly, not wanting to let go. Rockey, thank you for loving me. I hugged her back. Thank you too. We both grew up in orphanages. Every little kindness must be treasured deeply and always appreciated. Unlike Serena, a spoiled rich girl used to getting whatever she wants, whose obedient ex suddenly announces a wedding. It's no wonder she's losing her mind, but I believed time would heal everything. Eventually, she would let go of her bitterness and look forward, but I overestimated Serena's ability to accept. A few days later, just as I was about to hold the wedding, Serena called me late at night again. She sounded drunk. Rockey, you did well. I was already annoyed, planning to block her. She spoke slowly, her her voice hoarse and low. I should have looked at the photo back then. If I had just looked, I would have known something was wrong. She sounded both hurt and angry, but I didn't look at all. I even pulled her back from the war zone, cured her, and handed her to you. She cursed herself. Why didn't I think to check the photo earlier? I've only made an enemy for myself. Her voice trembled with rage. Then she lowered her voice. I could tell she was struggling to control her emotions, but her voice still shook. Rockey, am I just a substitute to you? I was silent. She was silent. After a moment, she bit her teeth and whispered, say something, why won't you talk? But suddenly, I recalled back then, Tony had another admirer. Serena posted a picture of my back on her social circle. I was wearing the latest trendy brand Tony wanted. That was the only time I wore clothes Serena gave me. Usually I didn't even take the tags off, just put them in the closet. But that day Serena persuaded me to wear that outfit and took a photo. It was her first time posting a photo of me online. Many people liked it, and many asked who I was in the comments. Serena hugged me and showed me, teasingly calling me, husband, everyone's asking about you. When Serena was in a good mood, she would call me husband. She twirled her hair around her finger. I told them, you're my husband. My girlfriends were so jealous. I smiled, but my eyes caught a new comment from Tony. I want to go to a music festival, wanna come? After a while, Serena glanced at her phone. Her hand paused. She passed the phone over calmly, took out a credit card. Let's go buy some sneakers. Then she stood up, put on her coat, and was about to leave. I watched her walk away, suddenly asked, Serena, please don't go out, okay? She held the door handle, hesitated for a moment, then turned and smiled at me. Lonely? Then take your time. Buy some more clothes. Buy a watch. She closed the door, and just as it clicked shut, she said, I'll be back soon, husband. I watched the door close slowly, lowered my head, not sure what I was feeling. By then, we had grown from college to work, and Serena changed from calling me baby to husband. Deep down, I still felt something different for her. I looked at the credit card on the coffee table, stared at it for a long time, then put it in the drawer. Never touched it again, and never touched my feelings again. A few days later, Serena came back. That post with my photo was deleted at some unknown time. Friends called her asking why she deleted the boyfriend's photo. She casually said, oh, it was just a boy I saw on the street. Thought he looked good, so I took a picture. I didn't delete it to avoid misunderstandings. At that moment, I held her in my arms. She snuggled up to me, affectionately calming me. After she hung up the phone, she kissed my ear. Husband, you're so good. She thought for a moment, then posted a photo of me on her social circle, but only visible to herself. Serena pressed her face against my chest. Husband is so handsome, not letting others see. I looked at her face, smiled without a word, feeling nothing, just like the credit card locked away in the drawer. Back then, I never complained or felt wronged. Like drinking water, only I know if it's warm or cold. But now, Serena was full of resentment. Rockey, talk to me. Am I really just a substitute? I sighed, decided to lay some things out. What about me, Serena? What am I in these 6 years? Serena stopped. I kept talking to myself. For 6 years, I never once complained to you, Serena, and you can't even handle a few days. Her breathing was chaotic. I sighed again, hung up, and blocked Serena's Facebook and phone, saying goodbye to those 6 years once and for all. Haley and I registered our marriage and held the wedding smoothly. I carefully prepared, giving Haley a dreamy wedding. From now on, I'm no longer alone and helpless. I have a home and a family, but at the wedding, my childhood friend Peter told me Serena had booked a ticket overnight, rushing back like a madwoman. I didn't really believe it. After all, she and Tony had finally gotten together. She wouldn't be so impulsive, leaving Tony and rushing back home. But I never expected she would really show up. The Serena I remembered was charming and delicate, carrying herself with elegance. But the Serena standing there now looked pale and worn out, holding a jewelry box in her hand, quietly watching me and Haley. It wasn't really me she was looking at. It seemed like she was staring at Haley. I startled her. Serena glanced at Haley, then at me, and beckoned me with her finger. Haley had just gone to greet some colleagues. I was worried Serena would cause trouble, so I went at her and spoke gently to soothe her. Please don't make a scene. This wedding means too much to me. I don't want anything to go wrong. Serena's face darkened, even though I was pleading. It seemed to anger her instead. She looked toward Haley far away. Rockey, between the two of us, who looks more like who? I was stunned, not really understanding what she meant. Serena asked again, husband, between me and her, who looks more like a substitute? She called me husband, so familiarly, as if we were still together. But she only called me husband when she was in a good mood, and her good moods always involved Tony. I would rather she just call me by my full name, Rockey. I coldly replied, Serena, I am not your husband. I pointed at Haley. I am her husband, with a certificate to prove it. Serena stared at me, silent, her face ashen. I regretted saying that. She came from a rich family. Being snapped at like that, she might just throw a tantrum scream or do something reckless. I froze, thinking about how to get this troublemaker out. When I heard Haley calling me, my heart was uneasy, but I didn't show it. All I could think about was Serena's cold expression and my uncertain wedding fate. Haley seemed unaware of everything, leaning into my arms, gently soothing my anxiety. Don't run off. I might not find you later. She patted my shoulder. Don't be afraid. I'm not going anywhere. Haley and I held each other tight, listening to her steady heartbeat. My anxiety disappeared without a trace. I smiled and nodded. Okay. Haley stood on tiptoe, pecked my lips, and I pulled her close, kissing her back. As long as Haley was here, what did it matter if the wedding went smoothly or not? With Haley by my side, I feared nothing. I kissed her deeply and with passion. When the kiss ended, I noticed Serena was gone. No scene like I had expected. She left quietly. Peter said Serena's steps were hurried, as if she was fleeing some wild beast. Then my phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. You never smiled at me like that. Peter was still beside me, gesturing. Serena seemed shocked. I've never seen her so disheveled. She even stumbled once. What's going on with this Serena, the rich lady? I shook my head, said nothing, holding Haley's hand, reluctant to let go. We depended on each other since childhood, promised our hearts when young, and now we finally belonged together. What happened to others didn't matter. What mattered was, I was with the one I loved. When Serena left, she entrusted Peter to give me the ring. Peter sneered. Now she knows to buy a ring. What was she doing before? Peter didn't like Serena much. He always resented me and Serena being together, like hating iron for not being steel. But there was nothing he could do. Serena was generous to me, giving gifts without repetition, but never a ring. Once while eating, Peter joked to Serena, when will you buy a ring? I can pay for it. Serena made a call, and soon the driver delivered a luxury bracelet to me. Peter was furious, shaking his hand. I said a ring. After so many years with Rockey, not worth a ring. Serena put her hand on my chair's back, giggled. He will have one sooner or later. Why are you in such a hurry? She hooked my chin, smiled, and promised, within 10 years, I'll put a ring on you. I looked down and smiled quietly, saying nothing. Suddenly, I missed Haley. Haley wouldn't joke around like that, making empty promises. It turned out that even if faces look alike, if they're not the same person, they never truly are. After that meal, I wanted to distance myself from Serena, ignoring calls, not replying to Facebook messages, changing the door lock password, and not going to her place anymore. But a few days later, Serena's stomach problem flared up. She sent me a video, her face pale and worn. I suddenly thought of Haley before she disappeared in the war zone. Was she also that exhausted? I couldn't control myself, even with Peter's disapproving looks. I went to see Serena. Her place was full of empty bottles. During the week, I avoided her. I didn't know how much she had drunk. I sighed, cleaned her house, made porridge, washed clothes, peeled apples, and took care of her until she got better. Serena grabbed my hand. Don't avoid me. Rockey, I'm not lying to you. I really will buy you a ring within 10 years. She made a gesture. I'll personally design it for you. I smiled. Then why not now? Serena was silent. After a moment, she said lightly, I have an obsession to resolve right now. She pulled me onto the bed, laying down with me, listening to her quick heartbeat. Rockey, I'm not lying. Wait for me 10 years. I looked at her face, said nothing. Serena hugged me tighter, as if afraid I would run away. All right, then 10 years. I pressed my face against her chest, listening to her heartbeat. A heartbeat doesn't lie. 10 years later, on our wedding night, Haley and I barely slept. Early next morning, while Haley was still asleep, I went downstairs to throw away the used umbrellas. As soon as I got downstairs, I saw Serena. She stood beside a Ferrari, her eyes bloodshot, a pile of cigarette butts next to her high heels. I couldn't tell how many she smoked. She glanced at the transparent trash bag in my hand, turned her face away so she wouldn't look anymore. Her voice trembled. Rockey, I waited all night, watching you turn off the lights. Her usual pride was gone. She avoided looking at the trash bag, but couldn't hide the red marks on my neck. The proud heiress of the S family, like she lost a precious treasure, stared at my neck, her eyes red-rimmed. She croaked out in despair, Rockey, I'm sick, I feel awful. Before, when she said this, I would immediately drop everything to take care of her, cook for her, peel apples, feed medicine, check her temperature. But now, all I could say was, just buy some medicine and take it. Serena swayed a little. Her eyes reddened even more. A tear fell down, but she didn't wipe it away, just looked at me. Rockey, actually, when I saw you smile at Haley, I thought a lot. I could treat you like she does. She closed her eyes, bit her lip, as if trying to say something hard to admit. Even if I'm a substitute, can't a substitute become the real one? Rockey, I can't accept you being with someone else. I was speechless for a moment, shook my right hand. On my finger was a wedding ring, not expensive, but carefully designed and custom made by me. Serena's face turned even paler. Rockey, take it off. Will you take it off yourself, or should I help? Her voice was hoarse, begging me. If you want a ring, I'll buy one for you, no matter how expensive. Just throw that one run away, please. I shook my head. No, Serena, this is my wedding ring. I looked down at the ring. Haley picked it for me, and I love it very much. Serena choked. Don't say that, Rockey. I feel terrible. Really terrible. I sighed. I didn't resent Serena. After all, her face helped me through the hardest times. I wanted Serena to let go of the past and look forward. I carefully wanted to say a few comforting words, but when I looked up at her, I saw a surprising figure. Tony was here, always cold and handsome. His face looked terrible. He stared at me in disbelief, then looked at Serena. Serena, I wouldn't believe it if others told me. You broke up with me in the middle of the night, booked a ticket home, all for him. He looked at the ring on my hand, as if insulted. He's so plain looking, and you married him. You left me for him. Tony looked very angry. In the past, just one angry word from Tony, Serena would fly halfway across the world after him. But now, she didn't even look back, pretended not to see him, and said to me, Rockey, I really can't live without you. I haven't slept well for days. She looked worn out. Will you come back? Rockey, husband, I'll change. I'll change everything. I won't look at another man again. Her voice was hoarse beyond recognition. A substitute can become the real one, and marriages can end. I will really change, please. I opened my mouth, too shocked to say anything. I had never seen Serena like this. Never. The proud heiress Serena. Even after all those years of ups and downs with Tony, never begged like this. Tony was stunned too. His face flushed red and pale in turns, and finally said, Don't regret this. I won't give you a second chance. Then turned and left. Serena didn't look back once. I reminded her. Tony really left. Serena reached out and pulled me. I don't plan to be with him long term. He's just an obsession. When it comes to marriage, there's no one else in my mind but you. Serena. I rubbed my temples, cutting her off. I was afraid Haley would wake up and not find me, so I decided to be honest. Actually, I never just saw you as a substitute. I've fallen for you too. How could I not? 6 years of close moments. Skin touching skin. How could I not fall? Serena's eyes brightened a little. I sighed. But you pushed me away with your own hands, Serena. Don't you remember? Every time I almost fell for you. You chose Tony. I smiled bitterly. It was you who pushed me away. You kept reminding me. Haley would never treat me like this. You could never replace Haley. The light in Serena's eyes dimmed. She still struggled to say, I can change, Rockey, I will. I shook my head to stop her. Serena, you don't really love me. You just can't accept that someone doesn't love you. Before it was Tony, now it's me. I pointed to my chest. But I can't keep entangling with you. Here inside is my wife. There's no place for you anymore. The last light in Serena's eyes suddenly went out. I said nothing more. I just walked past her and went home. At the door, I suddenly saw Haley standing quietly. She must have woken up a while ago. Panic hit me. You heard everything. Haley leaned into my arms. Don't panic. She held me tight. Serena called me. She told me about you too, and asked me to give you to her. I looked up in surprise. What did you say? I took her home. I paid her back double the money she spent on my treatment, and I sent her a wedding invitation. I was speechless. I told her how Serena found our wedding hotel. Haley knew how to hurt deeply. I don't know when Serena left, and I didn't care. I was busy preparing for the honeymoon with Haley. On a warm and sunny afternoon, Haley and I arrived at a tropical island for our honeymoon. Blue sky, white clouds, turquoise sea, golden sand. A gentle breeze blew. We relaxed and closed our eyes in the sunshine by the sea. At night, we returned to a wooden cabin by the beach. I had told Serena years ago that I wanted to live in such a cabin, but I never had the time. Later, Haley heard about it and immediately decided we should honeymoon there. I stood by the window of the cabin, trying to see the night sea, but through the window of the next cabin, I saw a familiar figure sitting alone on the beach drinking beer. She was all alone, surrounded by empty bottles. I pressed my lips, closed the window, but before I could pull the curtain, Haley came over and hugged me, kissing me. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught Serena's lonely figure on the sand. She kept tilting her head back to drink, while Haley pulled me inside the bedroom. The next morning, I got up for water. I glanced outside and was shocked to see Serena still on the beach, motionless. Startled, I rushed out and knelt to check her breathing. Fortunately, she was still alive. I patted my chest and was about to leave when Serena grabbed me suddenly and opened her eyes. Those once beautiful eyes were now clouded by drunkenness, filled with sadness and helplessness. Quietly looking at me in the morning sunlight, she whispered, Rockey, can I hold you again? Just once. Just once. I shook my head, pulled away, and stood up. I'm married, Serena. Serena was very drunk, laughing and crying at the same time. Her voice mixed with the sound of the rising tide. But I just can't let you go, Rockey. It's not what you said, wanting but not getting. It's loving without realizing it. Rockey, husband, please give me one more chance. I swear I'll never take you for granted again. I stopped in my tracks, then turned back. This constant chasing wasn't the answer. I wanted her to give up completely, but my return gave her hope. She looked at me with so much expectation. I lowered my head and took out my phone. I silently showed her a photo. It was a picture of a pregnancy test. 2 lines. Haley is pregnant, Serena. Serena froze. After a few seconds, she pushed the phone away like it was a poisonous snake, not wanting to look at it again. She couldn't say a word. I stood up and looked down at her, returning her breakup words exactly. We've reached the end. Then I walked back to the cabin. Behind me was complete silence. After that, I completely forgot about Serena. Haley and I lived a happy and lively life, almost forgetting the past. 10 months later, Haley gave birth to a daughter. At the 100-day banquet, Haley proudly carried our daughter everywhere, smiling from ear to ear. I sat quietly watching them, feeling warm inside. A waiter came over with a beautiful gift box. "Hello, this was just delivered by a lady for you." I thought it might be a gift from Haley's friends, thanked him, and opened it. Inside were 2 things, a golden lock pendant and a pricey men's ring. That ring looked very familiar. Peter came over, looked closely, and exclaimed, "Isn't this the ring Serena gave you at your wedding? She asked me to deliver it to you and said if you don't want it, return it to her." I was speechless. After a moment I reacted, grabbed the gift box and rushed out, but I was too late. I saw Serena's thin back as she got into a familiar sports car. The engine roared as she drove away. Peter followed me out and sighed. "If she had acted like this earlier, maybe you too wouldn't have." I shook my head and smiled. What's the use of maybe? What's done is done. No, what ifs, no regrets. I returned to the banquet hall, looked at my wife and daughter, feeling deeply grateful. Haley came and hugged me, asking, "Is there something on my face? Why are you staring at me like that?" I shook my head, leaned into her arms. "I'm just thankful I didn't miss you. I didn't miss my true happiness." The end. If you like Kitten's story, please follow and like it. Updated every morning at 9 a.m.